Chefs. Welcome back to another deck profile. Today I've got a rather spicy deck for you guys. I say spicy, but I mean this might just be like the worst deck I've ever put together, but that's besides the point. Today we got Supreme King, RUNICK Z-ARC stuff. Yeah, I don't, yeah, that's literally RUNICK Z-ARC. I just took Z-ARC package, runic stuff, put it together, bam, deck. I don't have a side deck for this one. Never really figured out what you could side for this, but I mean, that's up to you. Obviously, side deck is dependent on the meta and stuff like that. Without further ado, let's just get straight into this deck profile. Starting off with our Supreme King package, we got our triple copies of Supreme King Darkworm. This guy searches basically your whole deck. We played 2 copies of Gate Magician because we actually do not want to open a lot of pendulums in this deck. I know it's crazy. You don't want to open a lot of pendulums in a pendulum deck. I digress. Playing double Lightworm because I want the high scale, and we got the brick, the donut. Because Darkworm is such a really good card, we got triple copies of Wings of Light, and we are also playing double copies of Soul of the Supreme King, double copies of Miracle of the Supreme King. So, for those who don't know what this card does, I'm sure you guys already know what Soul does, but this card, while you control Z-ARC, you can either pop Z-ARC in some of the light one, or you could place a face-up pendulum monster from your extra taking pendulum zone, but most importantly, you can set a quick play spell from your deck. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but runic spells are all quick play spells. So you kind of have an in-archetype way to search your runic quick play spells. It may not be the fastest thing, but you could search any of them. And that's it for our Supreme King lineup. Moving on to the runic portion. I'm just going to blow through this real quick. We got double fountain, double tip, or triple tip, sorry, triple tip, triple flashing fire, triple freezing curses, triple destruction, triple slumber, and the one dispelling runics. Now for our, I guess, non-engine, I am playing a single Illusion of Chaos and Magician's Souls. Reason I'm playing these 2 cards, I had like 2 more slots left in my extra deck that I didn't really want to dedicate to Upstart Goblins. I figured this could give me some link climbing potential if I really needed it to, because we do that a little bit in this deck. And it just can get rid of dead spells and traps in our hands, so it's not bad. It's not bad, but I wouldn't max out on it. 2 is really all you need. Then need a bit more draw power, so we got Pot of Desires. We are playing just about play sets of everything in our deck. I wouldn't shotgun it, just to make sure you can get your donut out of your deck first. That's like the only thing you're really worried about banishing. Double talents, and 1 Call by the Grave, because I do not like hand traps. Alright, that is a 40 card main deck. Onto the extra deck, we are maxing out on Z-ARC, and by Z-ARC I mean 1 Arc Ray and 2 Z-ARCs, because fun fact, these are all technically the same card. So you play double Z-ARC to summon off of your Soul of the Supreme Kings to get its effects. You'll see how we get that in just a minute. And then Arc Ray, in case your opponent doesn't trigger off your Soul of the Supreme King, you can just tag one of your Z-ARCs after this, and Tomato. For our runic portion, we are playing 1 main, 1 Sleipnir main, whatever you want to call it, 1 Gary, and 1 Hugin. So 1 Hugin is a bit of a hot take, but extra deck space in this deck in particular is very tight, though there are some stuff you could take out for it. This obviously searches your fountain. Gary gets your fountain back from the grave, so you could pitch it off souls, use a runic spell, summon Gary, and grab that fountain back if you hard opened it. And main, because it just makes any of your spells going second, SP Little Knight essentially. A very bad SP Little Knight, but an SP Little Knight nonetheless. Now one of the main selling points about this deck is that you do get to play Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon. So for you guys who don't know what Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon does, just know that this card reads, negate the activated effects of monsters with 0 attack. So this, quite literally, if you summon this, just auto wins against Yubel, and you're gonna summon this without a doubt, because Nightmare Pain and Opening of the Spirit Gates are cards. Oh, and Nightmare Throne. Let's not forget that. So, you're more than likely getting this out against Yubel, and you're more than likely gonna win against Yubel, unless they play Super Poly, which has happened to me a little too many times. But not with this deck. That's all for our fusions. Some more Soul of the Supreme King targets, we got our Synchros. We got Crystal Wing, I'm sorry, Crystal Clearing, Crystal Wing, and Supreme King Dragon Clearing, because for some reason the white monsters are all really good. Do not need to explain why we play all these. Now, if you wanted to play more copies of Hugin, you could take out these two. I decided to play these because it just gives us a really easy OTK line. So just in case, you know, your Brave Eyes and one of your Synchro Dragons isn't quite enough to push for gain, you could also summon the RUNICK Z-ARC Dragon. And then you can just slap this on top of it because you can do that. And, you know, you just kind of kill your opponent this way. So, but if you wanted to play more Hugins, you could definitely take these out without a doubt. But, yeah, OTK stuff, we like it. In our final 3 cards of the deck, we have Beyond the Pendulum, because it just searches our pendulums. SP Little Knight, because the card's crazy. And Kulia, because this card reads, any pendulum monster that is summoned to a zone she points to, their effects cannot be negated. What does that mean exactly? Well, you go Soul, summon Z-ARC to the zone she points to, and Z-ARC just blows up your opponent's field because its effects aren't negated because of Coolio. And on top of that, you can just go, you know, Soul, banish these. Jesus Christ, I'm throwing my cards everywhere. Yeah, banish those. Get boom, OTK, monster negate, and if you're playing against Ubel, FTK. Cool stuff you could do with this. Alright, so I'm going to do a test hand, as well as a pseudo 1-card combo that this deck has. Alright, so a 2-card combo literally consists of Dark Worm and could either be Magician's Souls or any runic spell. Does not matter. So how this is going to go is you're going to normal Dark Worm. Dark Worm is going to search out Gate Magician, skill Gate, pop Gate, place the donut. Go Dispelling, or any runic spell, summon out Hugin, and then you could go Hugin, discard, search the field spell, but we're just going to ignore that, because we're going to immediately link summon, enter our Beyond the Pendulum, pay 15 with Beyond to search out Lightworm, scale the Lightworm, Glare, then we're going to Pendulum summon out both Darkworm and the Gate Magician. Using Gate Magician, we'll search out Soul of the Supreme King, and then using Gate Magician and Beyond the Pendulum, we'll make our Kulia. Set that, and just like that, you have a lot of interaction. So, on your opponent's turn, if they get a decent amount of monsters on the board, you can go Soul of the Supreme King, paying half your life to summon out Z-ARC, and just blow up their entire field. And then when your opponent activates a spell card, you can banish the Soul and the Z-ARC from the field, to then summon out your Brave Eyes Pendulum Dragon, your choice of either Crystal Wing or Crystal Clearing, and also your choice of RUNICK Z-ARC Dragon, if you think you can keep this on field to summon out your Rebellion Dragon Overlord. And on top of that, even while you have Z-ARC on field, you can go Lightworm, summon itself, grab back your Gate Magician, and then synchro with your Darkworm here to make Supreme King Dragon Crystal Wing. Clear Wing, sorry, it's Clearing, fuck. And then this is just another board wipe. So this deck can do a lot of board wipes. So that was the basic 1-card combo this deck has. Now let's just do a test hand. Now, is this really the best version of Z-ARC you could be playing? Probably not, but it is definitely a very fun version to play, I will say, because just sitting on like a bunch of big guys, it's kind of fun. We like big beat sticks, you know what I mean? Do a little power shuffle here, since everything is organized and these sleeves aren't really new. Good chance we'll probably see like doubles of stuff in our hands here, because that's what old sleeves will do. Fun fact, if you just change your sleeves, you'll actually draw better. I wish I was making this up, but it's a reason why I buy new sleeves every time I go to locals. Alright, I think we're shuffled up enough. Go ahead and draw our 5 cards, and let's see what we got. So, we quite literally have no runics to speak of, but I wouldn't say we don't have a way to get to runics. So I'm going to start with Illusion of Chaos, searching out our Magician's Souls, wherever that's at, and then we'll just put itself back in the deck. Next, we can go ahead and activate the Magician's Souls, sending the Illusion of Chaos to summon itself. And since we already have access to our Soul of the Supreme King, I'll go ahead and normal summon Dark Worm, then activate Dark Worm's effect. We'll actually search out the donut, scale the donut, then we can go Gate Magician in our hand. Let's send a Rebellion. No, wait, this is not Nick Z's Dragon. Hold up, let me not cheat real quick. There we go. Z's Dragon, summon itself, activate its effect. We're gonna grab a Wings of Light. This is just going to be a throwaway spell for our Magician Souls here, because then we're going to activate the effect of Souls. Let me just shuffle up real quick. Get rid of the Fountain and the Wings of Light to draw 2 cards. This works, I guess. I am so dyslexic today. We'll go Flashing Fire, summon out Gary. We'll activate Gary's effect, grabbing the Fountain back from the graveyard. I mean, we don't really need a pen summon. We'll go ahead and go Fountain. Then we'll just go ahead and throw all of these. That goes to the extra deck face up. Into Kulia. Set 1. We'll pass turn. Once our opponent gets like a decent amount of bodies on board, we can go ahead and flip the Soul of the Supreme King. Paying half our life, we'll summon out the Z-ARC from our extra deck. Then Z-ARC's going to blow up the field. If our opponent activates a spell, obviously we can just, banish these. We do not have the Light Worm, so we don't care about keeping Z-ARC on field. But we do get to cheat out our Brave Eyes, and depending on the matchup or our hand, so we do have a way to destroy another monster. I think I'll go ahead and grab Crystal Clearing, because Spell and Trap Negates are kind of hard to come by nowadays, because we don't have Baron or Savage. So if someone does that, we could use Flashing Fire on something for our opponent, mill 2 cards. Then we could go Fountain, put back 2 Flashing Fires on the bottom, and then draw 2. Slumber and another Soul. Drawing another Soul is actually kind of cracked, I'm not gonna lie. The Slumber would actually be pretty good in making sure Kulia doesn't die this turn, because we do want to keep that if we want to be able to use Z-ARC again. For only drawing Fountain, I mean, I think that was a pretty good test hand right there. Let's do another hand and just see what it would look like if we drew, say, I don't know, a lot of like Runics or something like that. Not a very good shuffle, but let's just see what we got. Gate 0, Pot of Desires, Light Worm, Flashing Fire, and Dispelling. Well, we do have the donut, so honestly, I'm actually just gonna shotgun the Desires. Well, we're definitely not drawing another one. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we only banished 1 Fountain, so out of everything here, we basically don't lose anything. Then we're going to draw a Flashing Fire and a Talents. Kind of useless. Funny enough, we didn't really banish anything for our Magician Souls either, so that's still in the deck. Right, so these cards are kind of useless right now. Unless your opponent did hand trap you, then you could go Talents to draw 2 more, which would be pretty good. However, we're going to pretend we don't have an opponent, or they just didn't activate a hand trap, because Talents is just weird like that. We either go Flashing Fire or Slumber. Curses, doesn't matter which one. Make Hugin. We'll go Hugin. We'll pitch the Curses to go ahead and grab that Fountain that we know it's on top of our deck. Activate Fountain. We'll go... Not Dispelling. Dispelling isn't doing anything right now. Could normal the Light Worm, go into Beyond, and search practically nothing. Yeah, no. I think what we should do is just keep the Curses, get rid of the Dispelling, and honestly, we're kind of just forced to just do nothing here. Yeah, drawing... This may be the bad part about this deck, is that drawing these just sucks really bad. Now, you could probably cut this down to 1 and maybe not play Desires at all, because you really don't want to banish like your only high scale of the deck. Like, I guess in this case, you could just go and play Upstart Goblin, but I digress. Could go Curses, you know, stop our opponent from doing something. Then we can go Fountain, put those on the bottom. Draw another herb. Okay. Tip. This only happens with me, by the way. But I mean, I guess Tip is pretty cool. I guess. I don't know. I think we're just kind of cooked here. Yeah, you really just want to draw like your good card. Just draw your good cards. That's all I really gotta say. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this absolute disaster dumpster fire of a deck profile, because RUNICK Z-ARC is just literally the dumbest thing I came up with, leave that down in the comments below, and I will make more terrible deck profiles, or maybe some good ones, I don't know. Share this video with your friends if you found it enjoyable or amusing. Like this video if you thought this deck was really cool and base, and I'm gonna stop myself there. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Do I yell about Dimension Shifter for like the 3rd video in a row? Or do I yell about Phantom Ivy Bell for the 3rd video in a row?
Free at the Command HQ, collect with this card.